what you're doing is you grab your trowel, you push the plaster in. So then whatever's left is got pressured down onto the hawk. Okay, hello, Blaine Gray, Plastering For Beginners. I'm in my dressing gown, I'm looking sexy. Nah, I'm only joking. Today's video, we're going to be covering the basics to plastering. I'm going to show you how to use your hawk and trowel, and I'm going to show you specific ways on how to start developing the basics to plastering without actually plastering a wall. So obviously a lot of people are looking to start plastering, to plaster their own homes, start a new business. I'm going to show you how to do it and minimize the risk before you actually start plastering. And this was actually taken from a challenge I've just done with my Plastering For Beginners subscribers, which is like the community I've got, where if you sign up to a welcome course, you'll be involved with that. But basically, the 30-day challenge was, the idea would take you to plaster from being a complete beginner, never even picked up a trowel, you don't know what tools you're going to get. We'll walk you through the whole process. And by the end of the 30 days, you would have plastered your first wall. And we're just coming to an end of it, actually, and it's gone really well. It's gone really well. I know everyone's really enjoyed it, and everyone's really got involved, which has been great. So this video was taken from that training program, taken from that 30-day program. And I just thought, pick your brain, I'm thinking about doing a little mini one for YouTube. So again, showing the beginners the full essential basic knowledge you need to know to start plastering, and I'm going to condense it into a YouTube friendly version. If that sounds like something you'd want, leave a comment below. I mean, if enough people respond, I'll think about doing it. But if that's what you want, where we'll do an exclusive challenge for the YouTube community, for you know, Plastering For Beginners subscribers, I'll set up a challenge specifically for you guys, beginners who want to learn the process of plastering. And we'll go through this live training over a course of 7, we'll see, but over a course of 7 days, maybe a week, and we'll go through a private, nice live training session. If that's something that sounds like good, to learn the process of plastering where you've been held accountable by yourself, by other members, and I'll show you the basics, and I'll show you how to start plastering, as in with tools, the 7-step process. I'll show you what you need to know so you can pick up a trowel and actually start for yourself. If that sounds good, let me know in the comments below. Like I said, this video has come from the 30-day challenge, which it's gone amazingly. And I'll just show you the basics using Trowel and Hawk. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I will not be wearing my dressing gown, unfortunately. And yeah, let me know. Hope you enjoy the training. Cheers. Okay, Blaine Gray, Plastering For Beginners. Today is day 17, is it? I think so, of the 30-day challenge. We're going to do something which might seem a bit weird, but this is essential to you learning. And what I'm going to do is I've mixed a bit of plaster, and what we're going to do is going to practice using our hawk and trowel. We're going to put the plaster on the hawk, take the plaster off from the hawk with the trowel, and then put it on different positions. Now, if you would have watched the other videos, you realise that there's different ways, different techniques, different angles you can apply the plaster with. What we're going to do is just go through the process and the different ways you can do it. So I'll show you what I've got. I've got some plaster mixed up roughly to the same consistency you'd have your plaster in a real life situation. So we've got a nice consistency going on, and what a good way, a good measure to get the right perfect mix is just that reference. If you've got 25 kilogram bag of plaster, it's 12.5 litres of water, so exactly half. So what I propose you do is you mix a kilogram worth of plaster and you mix 0.5 litres of water with it, so 500 millilitres. That should give you the perfect mix. And that'll give you the right mix, the right consistency to play with, and not too much of an amount where you're obviously going to waste it, because we're not going to use this. We're just going to trial it. Or you can just do it by hand. Put the plaster with the water, mix it slowly until you get a desired consistency you're happy working with. So let's crack on. First off, grab your hawk. So left hand, hawk always holds onto the handle. You've got this little gripper. Put your hand up tight if you've got the foam back, up tight to the foam. Just gives you a bit of support. It's nicer to work with. Grab your plaster. Now, I do recommend you put some sheets down. Definitely. I haven't. This is my garage, as you can see. It's a bit of a state. And if I drop a bit, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But definitely put some sheets down. What we're going to do, we're going to go through motions. I just want you to practice getting the plaster from the Hawk onto your trowel. So, let's do that again. What I want you to do, take it all off. So let me do that again. Plaster's in the middle. Take your trowel, angle it in a V. Can you see that? In a V shape. Pull it up. And there you go. That's probably the easiest way to get the plaster from your Hawk to your trowel. Let's do it again. Plaster in the middle. V shape. Pull up. And now you end up with the Hawk being vertical, trowel horizontal, and you just push up to the edge. You've got a nice, decent amount of plaster. And then, a good way to get it onto your Hawk, slop it down. Now we've got a little bit left on the trowel, scrape it back. Now this is where we're getting into different control, different motions, and this is all good practice. Take the edge of your trowel, scoop it up, throw it on. What we're doing here, we're just trying to get used to using a trowel before we actually go into the real life situation. Again, one more time, I've actually got a clump of excess plaster that's winding me up. Right, like that. Off again. We're going to speed it up. I want you to do that 10 times. That's the easiest way to get the plaster from the Hawk to your trowel. Like that. And then just get used to it. Keep practicing it. Keep practicing it. If you mix this plaster, you might as well get the most out of it, because it's going to go in the bin. So that's the first way. But if we've got a full Hawk, so if I had a bit more, now if you watched yesterday's video, one of the main points was not to overload the Hawk, and that's what I definitely recommend you should do too. I don't want you to have this big bulging pile of plaster. It's counterproductive. If you're brand new, you just end up getting it all over the floor. It'll go everywhere. But if you have got a big amount, what we want to do is cut the plaster. And this is slightly different. What we do is take it from the top and then scoop it off. So, watch this. It's the same. We're going into a V. So, we're going into a V again. Look. What we're doing now is we're only cutting half of it. See, half of it's on there. This is how much suction you'll get, by the way, in the plaster. Look, I'm holding a big clump of it, vertically almost. So we've got half on the trowel, half on the Hawk. Scrape it off. Start again. Let me show you again. I'll try and do it slower. What you're doing is you grab your trowel and you push the plaster in. So then whatever's left is got pressured down onto the Hawk. And that's why it'll stay like that. This is called cutting the plaster. I'll show you again. Cutting it. And that way we've got the right amount of plaster on the trowel. So when we're applying, we've not got the full Hawk's load. You don't want the full Hawk's load because it'll spill out everywhere. We've got a decent amount. So that's what we've got to play with. The reason we cut the plaster is so we don't have to keep going to the buckets. We've got a decent amount on a Hawk. We've got about 3 trowels worth. And then what you do, I want it always back in the middle of the Hawk. Like that. So I want you to practice that. I'll speed up a bit. Okay. Don't have to do it fast. I'm just saying I want you to get used to the motions. Get used to practicing it. So that's called cutting the plaster. The first one was all of it. Dump it down. Second one is cutting. Like that. And back to the beginning. Next one. So now what we want to do is get the plaster from the hawk onto the trowel and get ready to apply. So I'm going to cut it, hold it flat so the plaster is balanced, and then I want you to come down as if you're about to skim the bottom of the wall. And let me step back because I don't know if I'm in the camera. So take the plaster, hold it flat, come down as if you're ready, and then bring it back up. And that way you get used to travelling the plaster from where I am in this position to the lower position ready for application. Remember, the most we can learn now, the easier it's going to be when you actually comes to plastering. And I actually really recommend you do this. I know it feels stupid, but it's not. This is major muscle memory, and this is going to make a massive difference. The biggest trouble I see with beginners is they can't get the plaster from the hawk onto the trowel. That's the biggest thing. That wastes about 60% of the time, and trust me, it sounds minimal, but you'll struggle at the beginning, not if you practice. So next up, like I said, if we're starting from left side of the wall, we want the plaster on the left side of the trowel. We've just done that, always on the left. But what if we want it on the other side? And what I want you to do is practice getting on both sides of the trowel. So now we're going to do it slightly different. I've got the trowel on the right side on my hand. That's where I'm going to get the plaster to the left. You see? So I've got my hand, trowel to the right side of it. Switch hands. I've got my hand to the right side of the trowel now. That's how I get the plaster to the right side of the trowel. I've got the trowel on the right hand side of it. Do that again. Again. So I'm cutting the plaster, but from the other way. Again. So that's going to come in handy when we come to do a wall. We've worked left to right if you're right-handed, and then we come into the right side of the wall, and that's when we're coming into the right hand side. We want the plaster on the right hand of the trowel. So that's what I want you to practice next. At the beginning, we've always had the plaster on the left hand, like that. Switch your hand, plaster on the other side. And don't be scared, look, the plaster will hold itself to a point. So at the beginning you'll be scared of doing that motion because you'll think it's going to go everywhere. If you've got the right consistency, it won't. So let me try that again. Right hand, perfect. Okay. So now, a little thing. I want to practice getting it to the top half of the trowel now. So I just want to cut a little bit. Don't want it all. I just want a little bit on the tip. So this is good for when it comes to reveals, anything like that. So we just want a little bit. Watch this now. Take all the plaster, dump it down. You've got this little sliver here. This is where you take it, and you've got that little bit. That's when it's good for reveals. You've got the perfect amount to use on the edge of your trowel. Go from the reveal, run upwards. And that was just by doing this. Dump your plaster, you've got that excess left. Scrape it back. Perfect amount for a reveal. Do that again. Keep it. You see? Yeah. So, let's recap, because I know it's a lot to take in. I want you to practice all these at least 10 times. And the big mission, if you don't do anything else from this, I just want you to be able to get the plaster from the hawk onto your trowel. Trust me, it's not as easy as it looks. It's worth practicing. So we've got the big sweep. That's all the plaster onto the trowel. That's the first one. Then we're cutting it. You got that? Next one. And then we've got the right hand. Plaster on the right hand side of your trowel. Sweep it off. And then we've got the little flick. That means we've got enough plaster for the reveals or anything in the heads or a detail where you don't need as much plaster. That is 4 motions I want you to do. I want you to practice it. I want you to have a go. I want you to put your sheets down because I've already dropped a few bits. Now experienced, apparently. I want you to have a go at doing that. This gives you control, it gets you used to holding the plaster in your hand, gets you used to using your hawk, gets you used to using your trowel, but more importantly, it gets you ready for application. Oh, I forgot. I also want you to come down ready for when it comes to plastering from the bottom. That's holding your trowel horizontally, because that is crucial. We're going to be starting from the top. And that's why the other way, when we're doing the right side, that's how you do the tops. So when you have the plaster on the right hand side of your trowel, that's how you do the top of the walls. Okay? That's the other way. So I want you to try all them. I want you to practice different positions. And then when it comes to plastering day, you'll be bang on. So let us know how the challenge is going so far, by the way. This is a video exclusively for the 30-day challenge people. Let me know how it's going. Thanks so much for joining, and then we'll crack on. I've got to get rid of this now, but see you in a bit. If you are brand new to plastering and you're just starting out, then I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said, please like and subscribe to this video, but as I've been banging on, you can also sign up to our free welcome course, which is essential for anyone who's starting out in plastering. It's email based. Like I said, every day we'll send you an email with a new video essential to you learning how to plaster. Straight away when you sign up, you get the highest viewed video I've ever made, which is another example of me plastering a wall in detail. So we'll also go through tools, how to mix the plaster, and lots of other subjects you'll need to tackle to start plastering. So you can sign up to that using the link below in the description, or there should be something that flies up around here around now. Click that. Please like and subscribe to our channel, and please, if you did like this video, leave your comments below, ask any questions there. I read every comment on YouTube. Leave a comment and I will happily respond. But for now, thank you so much for watching. If you do subscribe, I will see you in the next one. And you get plastering. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye.